The Belleville Area District Library Board will come to order. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The second item of business is the roll call, and I will call on Alma.
Okay, for the roll. Javits. Fleming.
Here.
Jerica.
Here.
Peters.
Here.
Priest.
Excused absence for Priest.
Stottlemyre.
Yeah.
Hughes Grabs here.
Wonderful. We have more than a quorum. Our next item is approval of the agenda, and the agenda is the yellow sheet you have before you.
Motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Stottlemyre and supported by Jerica that the agenda be approved. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. There are no dissenting votes, and the agenda is approved. We now move to item 4, which is approval of the June 13th board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Jerica and supported by Stottlemyre that the minutes for the June meeting be approved. Great. We all, I would ask all in favor to signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. There are no dissenting votes on this either, so our minutes are approved and very well done and business-like, and it's always good that we have everything in order. We are now to the item of public comments, and we are fortunate to have 2 members of the public. Would either of you?
I have an announcement from the Belleville Fire Auxiliary and the Belleville Fire Department. I know 2 firefighters were here today, my son being one of them, because they are hosting the first annual blood drive and community day on the 28th. Yes, 28th of this month, Friday. So I will leave some flyers for you. And Mary Jo, I don't know how many you got this one, I think, right?
Okay.
Red Cross just sent some other new ones, the same QR code. So I'll leave everything, you can divvy it up. So free activities outside, Red Cross will be running all of the drawing of the blood inside. We'll be at Light Point Church on Hall and Sumter. So I will leave all of these for you to share. Copies of, and we'll go well. We'll have some food, we'll have bounce houses, there'll be additional notice around the community, and hopefully a fun time.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, they also have,
Can I have oh, if you'd like a copy.
Is that all at the fire station? where
No,
it's
we'll be
lobby?
right behind the Van Buren station, actually.
Oh.
So on Hall and Sumter, it's partially a dirt road, and Light Point Church has a space large enough to host the Red Cross.
Oh.
They can hold up to 64 appointments. We have about a dozen appointments filled so far. They'll continue to fill up over these next few weeks, and then they'll take walk-ins if there is availability. So those people who are dragging their friends in to give blood.
Good.
So 12 to 6, roughly. So it should be a fun.
it's also good to pair it with the community day and serve food, because sometimes, the Red Cross has little snacks for after, but sometimes after people give blood, they get a little woozy and they need some food.
And Kona Ice will be there. We have little seniors right now. We're trying to secure some other food, trucks as well, but we'll have a dunk tank, obstacle course for the
Oh,
kids,
that's a
an
lot.
inflatable one, music, and good weather, let's hope, because the weather's not good, I don't know.
Great, thank you. Rosemary, do you have anything?
No, I did talk to her son earlier today, and he told me that they were spending $50 a month to buy commodities from one business, this is the firefighters, and take it to another business. And so he came in to ask me if I'd come take a picture, is what but I couldn't, I was on deadline, so. So they've got other things going on too, but I guess that's a community project they
Good.
decided.
Doing it just a little bit of everything. I don't know what he has his hands in.
Good for him.
It's a
Um,
wonderful person.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, both ladies. And next on the agenda is our committee reports. Maybe we don't have any, who knows? Item A is the building committee. Any report, Joy or Mary Jo?
Dan, our architect submitted a mock-up drawing, that would extend the railing on the terrace by two horizontal bars. And he gave a couple of options. One would be for the original company to fabricate that and have a local installer field weld it into place. It might not look as good as if it were all, shop fabricated. We could have, either the original company do that or potentially a local fabricator do that. Another option would be to have an entirely new railing, the whole thing, fabricated. Salvage the existing lighting and put it into the new unit. Or just like totally start over. So those are the about, 4 options there.
Maybe we should share that and have the building committee think about it. Linda isn't even here tonight.
And I think, well, O'Neill Construction is looking into some details about this for us, so that's where it's at right now, yeah.
So that's to go up higher.
That's to potentially go up higher.
That was
So we don't have costs yet or anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the notion. We'll see.
Okay.
Any word on that light on the flagpole?
I sent an email, Dean's supposed to be on shortly, I reminded him about that, so.
And it's double
What about,
Here.
did you want to make a report about across the street?
We had a meeting with Steve Jones, Rick Rutherford, Matt and Dean from O'Neill Construction regarding the sidewalk project across the street. Upon discussion, O'Neill Construction is willing to meet with the city and a plumber to do a more thorough camera test, originating from inside the church and from the baptismal font in order to help assist with troubleshooting. So that's, they've offered to do that. Per Rick, though, he said the city is not standing in the way of getting a sidewalk board. So
And the church did not attend the meeting, correct?
I don't believe they were able to attend, so.
Right.
So that's where it stands right now.
So if there were any further steps to be taken on behalf of the church would have to take those steps. And if they did not, then my understanding of what you just said is there's nothing standing in the way of that sidewalk being
As far as
completed.
I know, there's not.
So we can have O'Neill come in and do it.
Yes.
No,
No,
Blue Ribbon Construction.
well,
Well,
it's under,
yeah.
it's under.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's under, it's a
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
subcontractor to.
In the past, the city used dyes to figure out in the water to see where the water was coming out.
I have some of that dye.
But they used very little dye, so they couldn't tell. So the new test will be a lot more dye, so they can tell, okay?
But will that be done if the church doesn't ask for, is that contingent on the church's interest? Or is that gonna be done anyway?
It would be contingent on the churches.
If it were a problem, it would have started in 2020, not recently, because when they did we did all the work.
Right,
It's ironic because when I go to the gym every morning, I drive around the library before I go home, just to have it. Anyway, on 4th of July, I would assume some kids took all the barriers from the Baptist church and put them across the road and cars were turning around. So I guess I could have called the
They had them in
city
circles?
and had someone work overtime to move them, but I figured now I won't be nasty. I'll just call the police. So I call the police and they obviously moved them, so.
Well, that's a harmless prank, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
although you got questioned, what's a harmless prank anymore since people's reactions are so crazy on things, but sounds like John had a good down to earth community type reaction. Well, thank you. And that shows John is always thorough. Our committee is pretty thorough on keeping track, and there are hardly anything that are building issues. Probably those three.
Yeah.
So, thank you. We've covered them. I don't guess we need a building committee meeting, Joy. You see how efficient you are. Okay,
It's all
item
me.
B.
I bet.
Item B. Bylaws.
No report.
Okay, finance, Tanya?
No report.
D, marketing.
No report, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then personnel, there's no report and no committee chair today. And policy, Dan,
No report.
you've done your job. And the art committee's done their job too. They did hang those pictures up in the quiet study room, and while we're still up here, before we go downstairs, y'all should go look, and quite attractive. And there was a process, Michelle follows up. Michelle Montour not only pushes and communicates the process, but then she goes and takes care of, she makes recommendations that are very helpful. People respond, and then she takes care of things. That's wonderful. And any questions or concerns? Anybody been buying the art in the main display, the Ed Good?
I know he has sold several pieces.
Yes, really
So,
good work. Good pieces, so. Yeah, boy, that was one of those ideas that we could use this building for, it's fun to see in full flare. Well, now, here's the fun. The accounts payable, we're at item 7, accounts payable. That list is in your packet.
Make a motion to approve accounts payable.
It has been moved by Chehevitz,
Second.
supported by Studemeyer, that we approve accounts payable. And we are coming closer and closer to understanding what our new normal is. This is pretty much a new normal accounts payable, isn't it? Mary Jo? Is there anything outstanding on
Excuse me.
it?
Don't see anything.
Plumber had to come to that was here, that wasn't at branch.
It was here,
That was here.
recalcitrant toilets that just needed a good old fashioned snaking.
Is the $7,000 June building carpet cleaning that was related to the incident?
No,
No?
no, there was our regular bill, our monthly bill, and then we did a annual carpet steam cleaning.
Any other questions? The motion and a supporting motion on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. No, but signify. All those opposed signify by saying no. There are no dissenting votes. So the accounts payable for May for June and early July have been approved. And now I think that takes care of all the action items. Now we get to have our discussion items, and our director will lead the director's report.
So, as you can see, this is our numbers for our fiscal year, and everything is up. All of our stats are up. We've done our summer reading programs, and they've been very popular. We had a magician today, so we had a lot of people in our building. Everybody was happy.
This programming is great.
Yes. So we're doing really well. So be extra nice to the children's librarians. This is their time of year to really.
But they are really fun, man.
Youth teen internet increase of 93.9.
Mhm,
Wow,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Is there any comparison of the best year at the old library compared to what it is now?
I'd
Because I
have to,
projected to be 3 times better.
I'd have to go back and look, 'cause probably our highest numbers were during the recession in 2008, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't wanna have
That was
another,
our
I don't wanna have another recession, just to have our numbers go up, but,
Yeah.
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 But this is,
So you think those numbers were higher than anything we've had?
I think
Because-
our circ is higher, our circ I think is higher now.
Yeah, because we had to start in a pandemic,
Yeah.
it's made,
Yeah.
it's kind of different on how to do, how it's gonna do.
Right. So, we did have, an event of interest right before Lake Fest, the Wednesday before Lake Fest. We found out from the Methodist Church across the street that there was a swarm of bees in their tree.
Oh.
I can't prove that it was from our hives, but our hives are pretty darn close to the church, so I'm assuming
Means you had a very good hive.
that's
And
what I
they-
have
They
found
were
out.
filling out.
Yep,
They were-
these
they
are
needed
hives.
Healthy
Our hive is
hive,
very
I've heard.
healthy, so, we called Bees in the D and they got someone out, they were there like within an hour, I think, from Monroe County to harvest the swarm. I found out a lot of information I didn't know before about how the bees are, at that point, before they depart, they feed. So they were all basically fat and happy and kind
They're
of
very passive.
passive, yeah,
They scare people when they're
but they're
passive.
not, yeah. And so they got up on top of their pickup truck with the boxes. And just very gently laid the branch, the swarm with the branch like down into this box, they cut it. And just hook it down and all the bees just kind of filter down into the new hive. They waited about a half hour for everybody to settle down and then they wrapped it up and drove off.
Ricky saw, he was there when our hive swarmed one time and it was like a tornado. The
Okay.
bees coming out of the one hive and then going into
Into
the
the
air and
Okay.
settling. It was
Wow.
really weird. And I
Yeah.
was jealous.
So, yeah. I think it was one staff member who saw it in the air. But
Really?
I didn't see it till they were already kind of,
Yeah.
in the tree, so.
So what they do with the swarm?
So they took them,
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, it's in a new, it's been
It's-
rehomed.
They are gonna be they're very happy to get freebies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so
That saved a lot of money.
they're, so they've been rehomed, but we didn't want someone. We were sure that, usually they dissipate on their own within about a day or so, but we just didn't want that, the swarm being there for Lake Fest and having somebody poking at it, so,
Maybe that could have been considered our satellite.
yeah.
A new service,
I like that.
new service, it sounds good to me.
So, please, we've got a couple of new staff members, a temporary returning staff member. So we are welcoming Lisa Meadows. She's joining our circulation services team. She used to work for the Detroit Public Library, so she's got a lot of library experience. We have one of our shelvers is training to become a cert clerk, so she's learning the ropes right now. It's not uncommon for us to rehire people who have worked with us before because they kind of like us. So we have one of our shelvers from a year ago came back from college for the summer, so we're hired her to kind of pitch in a little bit during the summer months before she goes back to college, so she's.
Who's the young lady in the wheelchair?
That's Cecilia.
Wow, that's
So-
cool, thank you.
And then we have a new shelver, Micaiah Cannon. And I just wanted to really give a shout out to the Friends of the Library, just for all of their support, especially they really do a lot of support with our summer reading programs, funding them. So if you see a friend, thank them.
The friends are lovely, they do deserve their break because that, spring book sale and all the activity
They work
around
hard.
it.
They were kind of-
And it's very lucrative, very helpful to us.
So if you know any kids, we're having a shark art painting party on July 15th.
That would be.
Which is April
That,
12th.
which is this Saturday.
Yep.
The Sumter Media Center report. I haven't digested it, have you?
Well, it looks like it's doing much better.
It's doing much better. It's got everything going up. So we'll keep working on it.
Mhm.
Visits not as much as
Circulation.
circulation.
I don't know, I have not visited for a good while. Has any of our board, have any of you visited the Sumter branch anytime recently? Maybe we should, and sometime we should stop in again. We did when we were building it and first opened it. But, keep an eye on it, and see how things go.
They should make sure that somebody knows about the numbers. Put out a newsletter every
Do we?
quarter.
Yeah,
Good idea.
that is a good idea. Boy, do you remember World War?
Yeah, that's like the last encyclopedia standing. So I shared an article with you about them.
Yeah,
Just, you know, that there's still, you know, a lot of people still buy it, still of value,
so interesting.
but so many of the other ones have just gone to an online model, Encyclopedia Britannica. And so much of reference, you know, we have a couple of reference shelves. And that much, and I mean. Not much is in physical form anymore. But I like the idea of having something that is physically preserved, a record that's in paper form that can't get changed or altered, you know, online entries get altered all of the time, and this is something where it's just kind of a snapshot in time.
There used to be so many school assignments that were built on World Book.
Yeah.
I don't really think they do that anymore. I
I
don't see them.
I remember using World Book for a lot of the stuff I did in school too.
Was that Britannica? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't need some print.
The Shark Art Party was fun on Saturday. And the Comic Fest is. Oh,
We're
there,
still
there
gearing
are two of them.
up, yep, still gearing up for comic class, we got some workshops for. The aspiring comic book artists.
Mhm.
And that's Cameron.
Yeah. August 5th. That is gonna be at 1 o'clock, right? Pretty sure. Anyway, I don't see where, I'm looking forward to that. And that would be kind of a good thing, that's kind of a quirky but good thing to really sell Belleville. We have a lot of little things happening there, a little different out here. Although, Ann Arbor has that comic book thing, don't they? They have a
Yeah,
comic
Ann Arbor
book.
District Library has a comic class, so.
But in our area, it'd be real nice to kind of push that, open that market. Now, according to our agenda, we're already at trustee comments and share comments, so. You know what that is? Anybody got a feeling for long talking or short talking? Talking.
Yeah, every Thursday, we've got music in the park. From 5 to 7, from 7 till 9. In the Victory Park here. And the first two were rained out. The first one was rained out. It was at the Methodist Church. The second one was air quality problem, and that was at the Methodist Church. So the numbers were not that high. But last week we had about 500 people. And people in Belleville like free concerts. Free. Free's a big word. Anyway, and a young lady came up to me, she says, you know, you got so many kids here. why don't you, get some chalk and let them paint on the road, on the street, and, which is a great idea. So I bought a case of, paint, of chalk, and I asked, Bob Myich, who's quite an artist in himself, and he does that. If he would assist us, he can't make it this week, but then I thought, hey, we have, the farmer's market here.
Yeah,
We've got our bollards, you know what the bollards are, those big balls in the front. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
balls.
we got big balls.
We got big balls. So- No, but then
Don't put it in paper.
Meeting.
Up there. Oh, Lord.
Anyway,
That
we're
was
kids,
John said-
kids can paint.
Yeah, that in the minutes.
Kids can use chalk to color our bollards out front. I think it'd be a cool tradition, because it rains, it'll just wash off.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
of course, I okayed it with the boss. She thought it was a good idea.
John has so many good art ideas for this town. Oh,
Make
boy,
sure it's
what are we
not
gonna do?
graffiti.
Well,
Yeah, it can't be,
No, I am totally joking. I have a story about that.
about planning a public art and it turned out to be obscene.
No,
Yeah.
when I used to do programs here, my backup was a box of chalk, and we would go out to the courtyard and do chalk art, and performer didn't come, and we did chalk art, and the next day we had, what's their names? We had 2 volunteers that came in, and they seriously came to me and said, we're really worried about the graffiti in the courtyard. I think somebody marked us last night.
They didn't recognize your art program.
They got a laugh when I told them, yeah, they were little children.
You're graffiti artists. Well, that's fun, yeah, and kids do love those bollards. They
oh
really
yeah,
do.
oh yeah.
And between the weekly farmers market and then the festival, the Lake Fest and you know, even Oktoberfest and the different, and Halloween, lots of stuff down
Sure.
here. We've had real big gatherings of kids who, whether they came inside the library or not, they had a lot of fun over here.
Oh yeah.
Good for us. Who wants to follow up, John? How can anybody follow up, John?
I just want to say congratulations for your new hires. Not always easy to find, good staff, so, but you always manage, so. good
Yeah,
job.
I'm happy about somebody who worked in the Detroit Public Libraries for a while and coming out here. I met Lisa, but that's on, you know, exchanging communities and stuff. Good. Anything else, Tanya? Oh, what's next?
Well, I'm very glad to see, the media center going up. It's still slow, but it's going in the right direction. And I won't be at the next meeting because I'll be on vacation out of town.
Good for
We're
you.
going to
I
Cuba.
didn't plan it that way. Oh, I wish.
Okay.
Now I'm taking grandkids on a little history lesson tour and to the beach.
Good.
DC and Wilmington and
Oh.
a few other stuff.
Oh,
So
that kind of history.
That
the-
kind of
Yeah, the early history, the East Coast. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Cuba would be fun.
Cuba would be a lot more fun.
Did you get to go there since it's been open?
No, before it was open.
Really?
Yeah, 2000.
She went through Canada, right?
No, Mexico, 2010. That's when I think I went.
Um,
Seems like around there, maybe 12. I don't know. I can't remember.
Emily, thanks for reminding me. I guess I won't be here either. Usually I'm here for my birthday, but this year I will be out of town, so. But last year I was actually in a board meeting.
We might need to cancel our.
Well, everybody try and be here. All the rest of us try and be here and hopefully Linda will be here.
Or 4 of you, is that, you got a quorum?
Yeah, we can miss two. But the
But I
rest,
won't be here either.
oh, you won't be here either?
Right.
Well,
Schedule.
or we'll have to think about if there's, well, there's only a few things that,
The only thing is the accounts payable, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, unless something comes up, I don't have
and I-
anything pending soon.
have we ever canceled a meeting?
Never.
I didn't think so.
No.
So,
I mean, it wouldn't be
We're
the
not
worst,
like, we're not like the planning commission.
right, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world
Facetiously, he
to
said.
cancel an August meeting. A lot of places, that's a traditional thing
Friends
that's
do.
canceled
I
every
think.
year.
They still do.
Is there anything, that we would be in violation of if we did that? Let's check that.
you could just have to put notice saying that's canceled.
For August.
Yeah,
Um,
go that route.
Well, let's see how things go. That's 3 people gone, so that would be 4 people. The other 4 people would have to be here. John and I, Alma, you're here?
I don't believe
No,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That didn't sound too sure. John, you're not going out of town?
Nope, nope.
We have to,
It's Linda,
I'm going back and forth up to, Mackinac and Kirklick, but I'm not, I try to make it so I don't go during these meetings, so I don't think I should have any problem about being here. So anyway, we will check closer to the time, but when we already know 3 people won't be here, it's possible that we may have.
I don't think it's against me,
No.
I think we can cancel. I know Lisa's canceled YDL meetings occasions.
Well, we will check on it, but don't be
Something
shocked
usually
if
gets
we have our
canceled.
first ever cancellation, which is a big thing because, well.
No, there was one during COVID, right, in the beginning of COVID, yeah.
That we couldn't have.
Okay.
The beginning of COVID is like
I know.
A
That was a
nightmare.
different
one of
one.
those things that I
I
trying to,
can't really count that. time
Right.
period, yeah.
it wasn't real. Next up is Alma and Dan. Dan and Alma.
I had a really nice experience happen to me here, a few days ago. I was in the library. And I was just kind of spending some time in the library, just kind of walking around, and I walked upstairs. It was a beautiful day, and I walked out back on the sun porch back there and
Mhm.
sat there for a little while and kind of appreciated the view and was hoping that we wouldn't have to change anything up there because of the incident that happened. But after I'd sat up there for a little while, I came back in and I just walked around the second floor here. But as I was going down the steps, there was a middle-aged couple that was walking up the steps, and they were separated by several steps. But the lady that was coming up, she was just so excited about being in the library, and she was trying to relay that excitement to the gentleman that was following her, that was several steps behind her. And she was just, I mean, she was just really, really excited. And as she was walking up the steps, she was she wasn't hollering, but she was definitely, you know, a little bit louder. She was saying, "Look at this live roof that they have. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this wonderful?" And then I was passing her on the steps and she was just like, "This is the most beautiful library. It is just awesome." And she was just relaying all that to the gentleman that was behind her. And of course, I'm listening to all this, you know, and thinking, yeah, that really is nice, you know, and to know that somebody else appreciates all the work that you guys have put into this. So I just thought I'd relay that. It was a very nice feeling.
Wonderful.
To hear her say that.
Thank you, that's a big up, it's very upful.
Yeah.
And Alma's gonna take up the end and.
Finish with a bang.
Well, I was just gonna say, we do have a beautiful library, and I'm very proud of our library, and thank everyone for all the work they did to make it a reality in our lifetime.
Well, you.
It is beautiful.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, yeah,
Part two.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. We won't, we'll probably open the time frame, so. But it is a beautiful library.
Yeah, and this is such a nice time to enjoy it. Well, I would just follow up on Dan's comments, because I always have walked through here and I'm so happy, and I need to walk, and it's like therapy, physical therapy, whatever. But then I also just do it because, just to see how things go, and in the, you know, and I did take up doing it in the evenings for a little while, seeing how things are at close up, but anytime I choose to do it, it's really useful. And I think for all of us on the board, anytime if you got some free time, or, you know, you need to take a few steps, all of us do. I'm gonna work myself back up so that I can go up and down the spiral staircase, which I could do when we first moved in here. I'm gonna get myself back to doing that, but it is an enjoyable experience. Not just to be proud and happy about our library, but about our community too, because it's really, you know, and you see out of every window, you see things going on in the community, so. It is a very good addition, I think, for the whole community, but certainly personally for all of us. So I thank the community for supporting us and for continuing to come, and I thank our staff for phenomenal planning and programming and activities to bring people in. And then this board, you know, Joy and if it wasn't for Joy and John, we wouldn't have the beat culture upstairs and all kinds of things that are, and there was an interesting support group for the vegetative roofs too, so it's really bringing out things that should happen, and the art, all those things.
I love the vegetative.
Yeah, yeah. And Marty moved out of town.
Does she really?
Yeah, Mary Jo tells me she's in Ann Arbor with her son.
Oh,
But we should see about getting her back over here sometime. Really, the spring is the best, but we don't need to wait too long. We should do it anytime we can. And that's all the nattering and prattling I have to do. So John,
Madam Chair, I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
it has been moved. It's fully supported. Belleville District Library Board is adjourned.
Now you can go find your